All right, and for like the fourth time today, we're back. We have had 3 failed recordings today. This is a great start. We've missed
Technical difficulties.
Yup, and we've had 3 months of nothing. 3 months where we haven't recorded. Our excuse initially was GCSEs, and then GCSEs turned into summer holidays, which then just got left behind. So we apologise for that delay. But in terms of the podcast in the future, I think we intend on taking things further. We are in the midst of arranging some opportunities for the podcast itself. Some more outreach stuff, outreach, and then I think we have some pretty exciting opportunities coming up that we're arranging. So keep an ear out for it. Because in a world, in the way the world's going, you've got to find a way to keep up, and I think we might have just done that. In the time we've been gone, the World Cup's gone on,
And the Premier League's happened.
the Premier League's finished.
And the Premier League's always starting up again. What you've got, 21st of August, into a couple of days.
Yep, literally next week. But yeah, today you just got me, Darrell, and we've also got Gavin with me.
Yeah,
no Ryan. He's taken a not so well on day off. And we're this is our 4th episode, 5th episode.
Yeah, 4th.
Yeah, it's 4th because we had a 4th episode, but we don't talk about that one. Because we we did film another episode that we just lost,
Unfortunately, but
so yeah, it's not for a lack of trying. And then once we finished with school, it was a thing of we didn't really have anyone in particular to record.
Yeah,
and that was a big kick to us.
it's true.
Because going from school where we had a studio literally every week for sure, we just sort of had to adapt to trying to record at home. I've invested in some mics, so we've got a bit more of a setup. And yeah, just hope for the success of the pod. Yeah, the Gangspot's been something. Even though we've only got a handful of episodes, there's quite a bit.
Still something there to listen to.
Yeah, a few failed episodes, lots of editing, a real significant amount of editing, a painful amount. But it's overall been a very joyful experience, I think, and it's been good to have these little catch-ups.
Yeah.
Because as much as yes, it's a podcast, and yes, we kind of follow an agenda, which yes, we go off a lot. I think it's still essentially a catch-up with friends. We always enjoy it.
Yeah.
But getting back to what you're probably here for anyway, the football. That'll be one of our biggest focuses today. The Premier League obviously finished up in the time we were gone, so the World Cup started and finished. With the Premier League due to start next week, everything kicking off. Yes, and you can find that all on, I don't know if I can say the channel. Just do your research, guys. But, you know what? Cool. We'll start with the Premier League. Giffen, you said that Arsenal would not stay on top. Would you like to update us on that situation?
Unfortunately, Arsenal managed to not bottle it and actually win the Premier League.
Did I just hear you say the words, Arsenal won the Premier League?
Yes, he did.
No, I want you to say it. Those words. Arsenal won the Premier League.
Arsenal, unfortunately, did not bottle it and won the Premier League.
Cool, screw you. Right. That is coming from a passionate Tottenham fan.
That would have been a bit embarrassing if they scored it for the 4th year in a row.
Should be as a that many? I don't know. Anyway, Arsenal won the Premier League. That is the big news. Big signings they made at the start of the year, like Victor Gyökeres. You can debate me on if that was a big signing. I think he popped up with a few goals, and they sold a few players this summer as well. Getting rid of Trossard. At the moment, Chelsea have inquired for Lewis Skelly. Arteta would be ridiculously dumb to get rid of Lewis Skelly.
I think I've seen someone like Galatasaray. I think he's trying to get Gabriel Martinelli.
Martinelli's not been that great.
To be honest, I feel like, yes, he might not have been great this season, but I feel like last season he done his part. So we'll just have to wait and see if Arsenal does sell, if Rick Arteta does sell him or not.
I think the big thing with Arsenal, especially over the past few years, has been their transfers.
Yeah.
Arteta's... that wasn't what I was getting at. Embarrassing. How much have you spent and what have you won? Exactly. Thank you. No,
I thought it was on your league.
no, that's not a Champions League though.
Arsenal that one either.
Yes, but they got to a final of one. You guys did in 2019, and then didn't do anything with it. But we don't keep bringing it up, do we?
Yeah, we lost 2-0 in Paris League, get short of defence.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Gabriel's ball covered the sun yesterday.
Oh yeah, the eclipse. Mate, that eclipse was so hyped for nothing.
Honestly, didn't even go dark.
Nope. They told you don't look at it. That's it.
Nothing. And then we carrying on with football. The teams that got Champions League. Yeah, City in second place. Man United third after getting 16th last season. And obviously the Europa League to Tottenham Hotspur 1-0. It's Aston Villa at fourth place and Liverpool at fifth. Now with Europa League, you had Bournemouth, who got sixth. So they've now got Europa League, and that's probably their first time in getting Europe in whoever knows how long. Another surprising one is Sunderland, after newly getting promoted from the Championship, have got seventh place above Chelsea in that. Getting,
is that good?
I mean, it's above Chelsea.
It's also above Spurs, significantly above Spurs. It should have been the other way around. They should be barely escaping relegation. No, it's fine.
For the first time getting Conference League since they finished in the Conference League spot, if I believe correct, in 22-23 season, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm thinking in the future, man.
Honestly. And then obviously Crystal Palace won the Conference League, so they've also got Europa League football as well as Premier League football next season. And now if we go over to the relegated side, obviously you had Wolves, who was definitely getting relegated. No question about that.
Yeah.
Burnley, with only 2 points ahead, also got relegated. And then obviously everyone thought near the end of the season it was either going to be down between Spurs or West Ham, who got relegated. Came down to the last game where they were almost tied points, but unfortunately West Ham, after trying their best by winning a 3-0 lead against Leeds on their last game, they got relegated with 31 points, and Tottenham managed to survive relegation with 41 points after a 1-0 lead against West Ham and a lovely goal by João Plínio,
who I believe is no longer at the club.
Yeah, he's buying, and now I've seen stuff where I think Newcastle and Aston Villa are trying to sign him, or he's getting on loan. So hopefully he doesn't go to them. But we'll just have to wait and see till deadline day.
All right, and obviously that's been a big story. Tottenham barely avoiding relegation, but in other news, we've had some superstars emerge late in their careers in other events, the World Cup. For reference, I'm mentioning the goalkeeper Vasinia, from Cape Verde, unbelievable shot stopper at the age of what, 40?
Yeah,
37, late 30s, early 40s.
I feel like Cape Verde couldn't beat in Argentina. Stretch, because the thing is, because when I think I was watching him, I can't remember, or I saw a clip where Argentina got a free kick, and while he was trying to still sort out his wall, it looked like Argentina took the free kick early. So I feel like if he had enough time, he probably could have saved that, and either it would have gone to pens, or obviously, yes, Argentina might have still scored a late goal, but I feel like they had a chance against Argentina. Yeah, unfortunately, didn't happen.
I mean, the World Cup was full of things.
Yeah, Spain winning. Well, there 1-0 with a late goal.
Yeah,
thank God to them. Argentina to win it.
Was it Ferran Torres who scored? Yeah, late again. Lots of people saying it was deserved, but we're not gonna
go to that.
I'm not gonna go there.
6 minutes in, they scored.
Wow, truly is like. It's not just the World Cup. We'll talk about what happened after the World Cup as well. We'll come back to that.
See, some Argentina fans really say that they should have won if they didn't get the red card. But obviously, the tackle that Enzo Fernandez did truly deserved a red card.
Absolutely.
After man went flying.
But and some people calling the France vs England match the real final.
Yeah.
But again, we don't get into that.
I believe it was kind of a bit close towards the end, as it was 4-4. But it's Saka's pen, who's probably the only Arsenal player that I know who could actually score a pen.
Okay.
And then you had obviously Bellingham's 90+8 minute goal.
I mean, along with obviously the rise of footballers like Vasinia, we had a rise in a certain personality on TikTok who seems to adore Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing was hilarious, to be honest. I've never seen a grown man, a man,
love a player that much.
Exactly. That truly was something.
Yeah, that much. Obviously, you'll have people that obviously they won't love a player that much, but they'll if they leave their club, they might tear off a bit, especially if they've been there for so long. I bet when Huminson left Spurs, I bet there was a bunch of fans out there, maybe not so many, but that either got a bit emotional or felt sad because obviously he'd been there for 10 years.
I think we're getting at the opposite emotion of sad. I mean, going from sad, bordering on something else.
If you were to love, miss or love a player, but what he does, he doesn't miss love a player, but he loves love a player. Yeah. Some would put other things, but the way he is towards them.
Yeah. I mean, it's been hilarious. Obviously, after the World Cup ended, we had the whole thing of Infantino
wanting to sell.
Yeah, trying to sell the World Cup is
so you're ready for boycott it.
Yep, and they still have plans to.
So, not surprised.
Yeah, as of today anyway. And I think it's the thing of, I think they were completely warranted to boycott.
Yeah.
I think, as UEFA said in their statement, it was along the lines of, football's for the fans. And no organisation should be able to buy it. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's for the fans for a reason. And even down to ticket pricing and stuff, all that was already out of hand before FIFA went and pushed it and went, we can sell this. And again, obviously we had the whole Balogun incident during the World Cup, a little phone call from Trump and all of a sudden the red card was rescinded. And football's meant to be independent from politics. Apparently not.
I was just catching up on Ted Lasso because obviously the season 4 has came out, and obviously at that part when they were all at that meeting, and the owner of AFC Richmond, Rebecca, I can't remember the last name, was saying that football's for the fans and that it shouldn't be sold just to make money. That part reminded me of the situation.
Yeah, I think UEFA and other organisations have every right to boycott FIFA. And I would be on board with a plan of moving stuff over to UEFA, giving UEFA more control.
Yeah.
Because UEFA were planning to but it's just going to be decided whenever. Football is for the fans, and just have to hope it stays that way for now. But with people like Infantino in charge.
I was after seeing England in the next World Cup, because I feel because Thomas Tuchel, I feel like he did his job. Obviously, yes, it was his first time managing, but I feel like especially with the Euros coming up, I feel like we could go far, maybe possibly win the Euros. But I feel like if we do win the Euros, and say we do go on and do the World Cup, I feel like we then could either at least get to semis and either hopefully win it and get to the final, and obviously hopefully win that. But obviously, just getting to the final would be massive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think England as a nation at the moment with so much potential, so many young players. I'm sure it'd be the same with every nation. If you live in it, you see those youngsters rise. But I think England in particular really have this young talent, this young team that want to win. With some exceptions like Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Who, next World Cup's going to be 34.
Yeah, he's brutal.
But generally we have a very young team, and I think it'll be a matter of can Tuchel work.
Especially with some of the youngsters that can be coming up for academy.
Absolutely.
Playing for those big, what's his part? Rio, from Liverpool. he seems like he could be when he gets to England side. Imagine having him, either Gordon or Saka on the wing. I feel like that could be a really good partnership, especially with like either Harry Kane or if we get a new striker that's as good as Harry Kane, especially with headers.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, in fairness, one thing in the World Cup that's, one standout player for me, one standout person for me, it'd been Jordan Henderson. My word.
Best player in the World Cup. Absolutely by a mile. Falling over advertising boards, breaking out of yellow card right over the player. Yeah, it's England standout. In all serious, that would have been Henderson's last World Cup. Yeah, what he's died. That's both 36. Yeah, he's just signed for another club, hasn't he? Yeah, he's on for Chelsea. That is ridiculous. Same of Danny Welbeck, 35 years old. Yeah, Chelsea wants some old people. I know. It's like they're opening a fucking retirement home. Oi, which language? Alright. It's like they're opening up a retirement. Who next? You go sign Frank Lampard again. The hell? Man, we're doing so well. We got 17 minutes in. I had to drop in an F word. Wow. Drop the one F bomb. Yeah, wow. That's our one for the episode gone, guys. If we were to go back to England and the World Cup, I feel like one player that obviously, yes, I'm not saying it because he was a Tottenham player, but obviously Jed Spence, when he made that tackle against Argentina, stopping them, it was just unbelievable. Unfortunately, he's now gone to Inter Milan in Italy. Yeah. So hopefully he does good there, and I wish him all the best. But I think one thing that I think is also on the rise in the UK is women's football has been for a while, is continuing to grow, and I think there's brilliant opportunities in the women's game, and as a referee as well, I wouldn't be impartial to going down the women's route of football in the UK because as that's growing, obviously you're getting paid more. Yeah. So by the time we're in like 10, 15 years, I think it could become a lot bigger than what it is now. It's already growing. If you look at women's Euros, obviously what they won the Euros back to back. Yeah. Which is massive. Obviously, yes, the men's haven't done that, but hopefully the men's can win the next Euros and say the women's win the next World Cup. Honestly, I find like women's football is just such a joy, such a different atmosphere. Whether you're refereeing it, which I've done, whether you're watching it, which again I've done. Yeah, it's so different. Would you say it's less violent events or aggressive is the word I'd use? Aggressive, less aggressive or more aggressive? Less aggressive. Everyone actually is fine to each other, and that's a change. Yeah, I know. Especially for some people in men's football. Yeah, you see. Yep. But I think women's football, while it's still got a fair bit of a way to go. So obviously I've been around as long as men's football. Could say men's sort of from like 1800s. Yeah. So anyway, moving on out of the inside, out of the sports element of this now. Yeah. We still haven't recorded. But in the meeting, this summer's, partially prepping for next year. Yeah. The 6 months even. Formal college. I think all of us are doing college. All us presenters. Yeah. We're all going down the college route. I mean, we've spoken about this before, so we won't sort of dive into it, but, results day in a week or so. Next Thursday. Yep. Didn't nervous for that, but. Yeah. No, absolutely. I think we all should be. I think it should be something we look forward to as well, though. All I need to do my course is free English and maths, as long as I get. We'll see if I pass, I'll be even better, but as long as I get the free for my course, then I'll be happy. Yeah, and obviously next steps is massive for us now. Everyone's like, oh, it's GCSEs, now it's A-levels. Yeah. Equivalent you've taken. See, after that, it could be university if you want to go, or straight into an apprenticeship. Yep. Or just go into line of work. Yeah. No, I think the sort of vocational side of things and stuff is quite interesting. You know what? We don't normally get into politics, but here's one. We've had a new prime minister as well in the time they haven't recorded. Everton that. Yeah, I mean, so much has happened since we started recorded. Yeah, wow.
I must say, this new Prime Minister seems to have made an effort with young people in particular. Yeah. Okay.
What's the other guy? I forgot his name already.
Keir Starmer.
Keir Starmer was an Arsenal fan. Don't like it.
Wow.
Even though some people might say he'd done a little good, but to be honest,
No, I mean,
this guy's just getting out phone with it.
we're not a podcast that's going to pick sides. We're not going to make political statements. I think we're just going to have a bit of a talk about it without, putting our opinions across too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I would say this guy's the same as every other prime minister in the sense of there will be policies we agree with, which typically, you find a lot of people have agreed with.
Obviously, there'll be some that obviously some will agree, some won't.
Yeah, but that's every politician. One, I did want to zoom in on. All right. We have an election today, literally today, as we're recording, right? There's a big election down in Clacton, right? We have Nigel Farage versus Count Binface. What a joke. Honestly, it's funny. It is quite funny to see a bin up against Nigel Farage.
Like, if you had to guess one person,
I seriously hope it's Binface.
That would be funny.
It would be absolutely hilarious.
Batters.
Unlikely, but it's one thing that politics really has me giggling at. Like, how we let a literal bin run.
That would be embarrassing, at least to a bit.
Exactly. I mean, there's also they're trying to change the laws around what you can wear in Parliament, because in his current intergalactic state, Count Binface couldn't enter Parliament because what he's wearing is considered armor. I mean, it's a bin on his head, but this isn't his first rodeo, is it? Count Binface. He was previously Lord something or other. I can't remember. Lord Buckethead. Yeah, he was Lord Buckethead back in 2019 thereabout.
I crazy time.
He ran against like Theresa May. He ran against Rishi Sunak, Boris Johnson. Like, this guy was on it, bro. Boris during COVID was something.
Awesome.
Yeah, and then he had a party. Allegedly, guys, allegedly. Yeah, we don't know. No, I mean, my favourite Boris Johnson moment was the passport incident. What do you get from Brexit? You've been touched into a new blue passport.
Brexit.
Yeah, that was something in football for a while. But yeah, politics isn't something we normally dive into.
Obviously, because since Andy Burnham, I'm just going to go there. Because Andy Burnham's new, he's just came on, last month. Yeah. So we'll see. Yes, he's already done some good things. We'll see, because he's still got a long time. He could get even better and better, but it could also get even worse and worse. So we'll just have to prepare for the future and just wait to see.
Yeah, and about sort of picking sides, I think he has some good, some quite good policies, and I think his push towards vocational topics is a good thing in the grand scheme of things, and the fact he wants to do more in the way of young people and going down the vocational route is terrific. Because, like, I found, at school, I mean, I know I'm only just leaving, but I always found, like, I've enjoyed my vocational subjects a lot. And I haven't really enjoyed my maths, for example. I was never really good at maths, and I felt dumb. And school puts so much pressure on, there's other subjects, but focus on your maths and English. They put a significant amount of pressure on young people to do well in maths and English.
Everyone's good at something.
Exactly.
So not going to be like your mates who say you're good at English and he's good at maths. Like, you're not going to be good at maths. You might not be good at maths and you might not be good at English. Like, you're just going to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
And not, like, yes, you might be able to push and get good at something, but it might take time. Because she used to do refereeing, will still do refereeing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about refereeing. So, obviously, if I tried it, I would be good at it. Whereas you've done it for a while. So you'd know what to do, be good at it, and all that.
But at the same time, I think it's also a good thing in the way of erasing the stigma, because there is one around, this kid's done vocational, they're probably dumb. I think that's an awful way of looking at it. And
everyone's dumb in their special way. Everyone's dumb in a...
You could have phrased that differently, but yeah. I mean, I would have said everyone's good at something instead of everyone's dumb in their own way. Yeah, no. But I think it's him not putting as much pressure on the academic side of things is probably for the best, and it will help people in school feel like we're achieving something, like they're achieving something. Because one big thing I found is I was always achieving with, some of my vocational subjects like music. I was always achieving, but it never felt that good because it was an academic subject. It's like people are like, oh, it's good to have the grade, I guess, but it's not going to get you anywhere in life.
The IT, you do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, IT I passed.
Yeah, you sanity, obviously we sanity drum and IT. We had a good teacher throughout the whole of IT.
Yeah.
Yeah. Year 9.
Year 9, we were between two teachers.
We had the same teacher throughout the whole of year 10 and 11. And obviously you've got the grades that needed and passed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it helps to have teachers who care about the subjects they're teaching, not a teacher who's, qualified in one department but can teach another, but, doesn't particularly care for it. I think that's important as well. Like, we had French teachers teaching geography. Yeah. And I think sometimes it was obvious. Sometimes it's obvious that a teacher doesn't like what they're teaching and it rubs on the kids. But yeah, anyway, as I was saying, like, generally maths and English, again, is, being ingrained into every child's mind is so important. So you find if you're not good at it, you feel behind, you feel dumb. And I think this new policy that he has is a good way of changing that.
Yeah, because that's when obviously you're going to say in your own time you have to try like catch up with everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously they might move more forward, more ahead than you are, so you'd have to like try and rush all of that to a certain time just to catch up.
Yeah. And it was stressful. It was always very stressful, like maths and teacher. For me, anyway. I think this new Prime Minister's making some pretty big changes, but for the best. It's good to, at least to the extent we do, see he's trying and trying with the youths of the country as well.
Yeah.
And he has quite a social media presence. The last few Prime Ministers have. But I think he's got a positive social media presence as well, which is bigger, arguably, than having just a presence. You can have a positive social media presence and a negative one. And I think it's good he has a positive one. He keeps coming up, but typically for good reasons.
Yeah.
Whereas you're getting other politicians, but are on your For You page, but not for the right reasons. Recently I've sort of started listening to the news a bit more. Starting to gain an interest in what's going on,
like around the world.
Yeah, more so in the UK though. There's some good debates that I listen to, and I think it's good. The news is good sometimes to get two sides of things. If you listen to it with a pinch of salt, and politics is always a two-edged sword. You either one way or the other. I think listening to the news is always enlightening, good experience sometimes. But yeah. Anyway, next steps for us anyway, we'll say in college.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. We're all going to a local one. Might see each other a few times a week. But this is our next big step.
Yeah. College, and then whoever knows.
Who knows after that?
Where else? Like university, like I said, or maybe even just do either a small job or maybe even like a job of your dreams or whatever you want to do in the future.
Absolutely.
Like, it could be, you'll see, like military side or construction side.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do.
And I think we have time for one more topic. Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah, we've actually stayed on track and now we do have a fair bit of excess time. So, we'll shift the topic over to, sort of ourselves, I think, then our next steps for the podcast. I mentioned we have some opportunities that could arise. Yeah. I mean, we'll wait for everything to be confirmed before we officially announce what it is. Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think in terms of our own social media presence, we need one or more of one. We've had a few videos that, haven't gone viral, but
they've done better than we thought they would do.
Exactly. One thing we did do today was, sort of sit down and we did have a talk about the next steps of, the podcasts. as a sort of business.
That's what we do.
Because we're a podcast. We're spending money to sort of do this.
See how, if say one doesn't do as good as others, sit down and talk how we can make it better.
And I think that'll help us stay on track as well. Like the software we use, I think we might eventually have to pay for.
Yeah.
We got new equipment, we got new microphones, those were paid for.
To be honest, since obviously you're out of school, we're growing up a bit, you can start getting jobs. And it wouldn't be as much as an issue.
With us being all over the place as a collective, and I think, from this point on, our financials will be a bit more split between the three.
Yes.
And should better us in the future as a podcast in general. And we're aiming for more of a social media presence. So, if you see any of our content online, like interact with it, share it. I think it'll be good for us to get a bit of growth as well. And the opportunity we're being offered with could see a fair bit of growth. And
hopefully we get the deal across the line with whatever. Obviously, we know that.
Yeah, without giving too much away, it's going to be sports orientated.
You'll just have to wait and see the future.
Exactly, it is going to be sports orientated. I think one key thing you've noticed is, we do love to talk about our sports, and we get it's not for everyone, and not every episode will focus on sports, but going forward, if this is arranged, we could have some pretty interesting episodes as well with some guests that reach outside people we already know. Not to knock on the people we've had some brilliant episodes, like the one with Jamilu, like the one with Harley. They were pretty good episodes. Yeah, go listen to them.
Yeah, maybe obviously in the future we get more people on and
expand our audience as well.
And we can also hear let's say if they have any topics they want to talk about. Or
what we will do though is we're going to create an email that will be mentioned in the next episode. And if anyone has any suggestions about anything that wants to be spoken about, any topics you want brought up, just drop an email and we'll see what we can do. And we also had a look at our statistics today and really went through stuff. And we have a few listeners in countries we would never have thought of. Most of our views are from the UK. Like we expected that.
Yeah, we had some from America, Turkey, Japan,
Uzbekistan,
Nepal, Australia,
Bolivia.
Yeah.
Some really random nations, Nigeria.
Yeah. Just really surprised.
Yeah. No, yeah, it really surprised me as well. But I think, moving forwards, we have some big stuff planned for this podcast, and, we're hoping we can get some deals over the line.
Yeah.
Really, really better ourselves moving forward, and hopefully you guys notice it as well. But with that, we will wrap up for today's episode. It's been an absolute pleasure, Gavin.
Yeah. Lovely day today to record this.
Yep. Absolutely sweltering in the heat.
Yeah.
But no, we plan to get back on track in terms of recording. A few of us have holidays booked up for the next month, but we will sort recordings out around it potentially, or after. We will make a set schedule that we will attempt to stick to, because we realize we need to approach this with a lot of seriousness, and I'm gonna try to get out. And we've sort of done our research on where perhaps we could have done better, and we plan on acting on those. So we will see you guys later. It's been a pleasure, and that is us done for today. That is a wrap, Gavin.
Yeah.